Hi everyone, Grace Boji once again. Welcome back to our channel. If you are new to our channel, please hit the subscription button and do not forget to leave us a comment for our follow-up purposes on everyone who is on our YouTube channel. Today, we are going to talk about how to stock new goats on a farm. It is an exciting journey. It is an exercise that raises every farmer's adrenaline, that it is so exciting that the day when you are to stock your goats, you feel that excitement. The same excitement I feel it at my farm when I'm going to bring in new stock from another farm or raise. So you as a farmer who wants to stock goats on your farm, we want to discuss today what things should you look out for, what things should you do prior to stocking those goats or when you're about to stock those goats on your farm. Here are some of the basics that every farmer should know before you bring any goats to the farm. Number one, start by identifying the farm where your goats are going to come from. Please, dear farmers, do not buy goats from the markets, breeding goats especially from the markets. Every time you buy a breeding goat from the market, you are buying a reject, you are buying problems, you are buying one problem from one problem to another. You are buying problem from problem to problem. You get it? Basically, you take it as this, that when you go to the market, Boji has some goats that they have culled off, and we send them to the market. Usually when we send them to the market, we first fatten them so that they look nice and they accumulate enough kilos to be able to fetch us enough money on the market. So you as a farmer who is looking for breeding goats, you find those fat goats in the market, you take them to your farm, and then next you are starting to cry about it, because some of these goats, when they reach on your farms, some of them they never give birth, others are infertile, others are laden with lots and lots of infections, others have some bad traits in them, like when they give birth, they don't want to breastfeed, or they are serial. They are goats that almost on every year, they abort the babies. So those are goats you find in the market. And the funny things though, that when you buy a goat from the market, it is willing buyer, willing seller. There is no anywhere you'll complain. You'll not go back and say, you sold to me this goat, it was ABCD. No, because majorly all the goats that come to the market, they are majorly for slaughter purposes. So farmers who are watching me, ensure you always buy goats from farmers and farmers who are known to you. Don't just order for a goat on the farm. Ensure that you visit that farm, and when reach on that farm, do not only take pictures with the goats. You love taking selfies for Instagram, etc. and what. Ask the relevant questions on the farm. Ask, how old are these goats? Which breed is this? Can I have proof of vaccination? Were they vaccinated? When did you deworm? How often do you deworm? Which drugs do you use for your deworming? And then after that, also ask for the vaccination schedule. What vaccines have they used to vaccinate? Actually, some farmers tell lies. They may lie to you that they have dewormed the goats, but in actual sense, like in our farms here in Uganda, there are farmers who never deworm goats. To them, it has never clicked in their minds that goats need a dewormer. So you as a beginning farmer, or you as a farmer who is stocking goats to your new farm, ensure that you deworm them again. Unless if the farmer tells you or shows you a video or some other evidence when they are deworming those goats. Usually farmers lie. So ensure you deworm your goats unless you have gotten some good evidence. Ensure you revaccinate your goats because revaccination does not cost anything. It does not, it is not stressing to the animals again. It is for your own good as a farmer. When you arrive at this farm, also ask the relevant questions like I've told you. When were they dewormed? Which drugs were they used to deworm? And when were they vaccinated and against what? Ensure that you ask all the relevant questions. And then also look for the goats they want you to buy. Examine them one by one. Examine the nipples, examine the eyes. Often some farmers get goats, and reaching on the farms, either the goat is lame or the nipples are blocked. The nipples being blocked, it means the goat, when it births, it may not be able to give birth, or it has an eye defect, or it is so skinny. And being so skinny, it means it will disturb you when you take it on the farm for you to be able to benefit out of it if it is to give you babies. That day you are to take those goats, also ensure that you have a reliable means of transport to your farm. Usually, if it is a truck and if you are having many goats, ensure that this truck you are using to transport your goats to the other farm is disinfected. There are so many disinfectants sold on our markets. Please buy a disinfectant. Disinfect the truck, the tires, the inside of the truck, and make sure you are having a clean truck. And also ensure that you have enough space for your goats on the truck. Usually, every breeding goat of 8 months to 1 year can take between 1 to 1.5 square meters of space in that truck. And also on top of that, on the floor of that truck, please put in some dry grass. Because of the long journeys these goats are going to trek, the floor over the truck is always slidey without grass. And in the long run, by the time they arrive at your farm, most of them are under a lot of pain because their hooves are hitting the floor, which is metallic, and it hurts their hooves. So for you to have them a softer landing in the truck, put in some dry grass and make sure this grass is completely dry, not wet. And also ensure that prior to taking those goats, have some paperwork. It is either the person where you're buying from the goats to help you process the paperwork, or you can ask to process that paperwork for yourself. The day you are to transport the goats, also ensure that you have processed the paperwork pertaining to those goats, which includes the number, the breed, where they are going, to which farm, which sub-county, which village, which districts are they going to pass through. And also, if they are breeding goats, ensure that before you transport them, the district veterinary officer where your farm is must give you a letter of no objection. Some of these things are not documented anywhere, but we learn them out of experience of transporting goats many times. And this is something I've done for over 9 years. So I have a lot of experience in it. So if they are for breeding purposes, make sure prior to transportation, make sure you'll get a letter of no objection from the DVO's office. This, it is free of charge, but out of appreciation, give them something. You know how things work in the African way, because without giving them anything, you'll chase for that letter for a month plus without you getting it. So after you've gotten a letter of no objection, come to the DVO of the district or a veterinary officer of the district where the goats are, where you're going to buy from the goats. For us, when you buy from us goats, we usually process this paperwork for you because we know it is tedious. There are a few guys we use who are veterinary officials. they process for us these papers at least a day or two before you arrive. Okay, these goats are supposed to be transported during daytime. And during daytime, what is so funny that even if you have the paperwork, we prepare some little money to give to the officers on the roads, or else they make life hard for you on those roads. I'll give you an example. I think that was like 2 years ago. I was transporting around 80 goats to Kitgum, and I had all the paperwork, but it took me a lot of shouting on social media for my goats to leave that checkpoint in Masaka for them to continue up to Lukaya. It even involved a minister, you can imagine. Just a few goats leaving one district to the other. So make sure to avoid such snags on the road. Prepare some little money. Do it the African way. We are not yet Bazungu, but do it the African way for things to be smooth for you. Remember, every time the goats delay on the road, you are already incurring losses, because the more they delay on the track or on the road, it means they are becoming more and more stressed. Some of them will die, and some of them may reach at the farm, and you have to use a lot of treatment for a number of days for you to treat them well. Yeah, these are things that are not documented anywhere, but as a farmer, I've been there, and I'm giving you the real life experience farmers go through if they are to transport goats from one area to another. If you are to transport goats within the district, maybe your farm, for example, my farm is in Rakai, and a farmer is also in Rakai transporting the goats in Rakai, basically within the district, not outside the district. Here, you will not need the DVO's letter. You only need an LC1 letter, and your letter from the farmer you are buying from goats, informing anybody on the road or any security personnel on the road that these goats have been bought from farm A and they are going to this farm. So you don't need the DVO's letter. Farmers, take note of this. Most of you don't know. You always run to the DVO's. But if the goats are moving within the district, they are not going outside the district, you don't need to go to the DVO. Only an LC1 letter which has a date and it has a stamp, and also an agreement between you and the person you're buying from the goats. That is enough for you to move. So the DVO's letter only applies if you are buying goats outside, you are taking them outside that district. For example, I'm from Rakai, I'm taking goats to Isinjiro. I will need a DVO, District Veterinary Officer's letter from Rakai, allowing me to transport the goats to Isinjiro. But also, the DVO, the District Veterinary Officer from Isinjiro, will give me a letter of no objection if especially they are breeding goats. The letter of no objection does not apply on slaughter goats. So if you are buying goats for slaughter from one farm to another district, forget about the letter of no objection. So when the goats arrive on your farm, assuming you have any goats at the farm, please do not mix these goats with the goats on the farm already. Do not mix them. Why? When you mix them, these goats are already stressed. When they are stressed, the stress comes in form of flu, cough, diarrhea, eye infection. So isolate them, keep them alone, give them some water, fresh clean water to drink, give them some glucose. In some veterinary shops, we have now Glucovit. Glucovit is a mixture of glucose and multivitamins. Give them some plus fresh clean water and fresh feeds. Give them ample feeds for you to eat. Hope this video has been informative. You can continue to our videos and see what happens after these goats have arrived on the farm. Thank you for watching.